Hey everyone, Ricardo here with another video for the Patreon. This one about right hand technique on the guitar. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and some of the people on Instagram were saying, this would be a cool video to do. And I'm gonna divide this one in a few different parts, just because there's a lot to cover, and I think it's better to go in bite-sized chunks, both to be able to address all the subjects about it, all the different ideas about it, the approaches is the word I was looking for, as much as take our time with things and make it easier to just watch. This, I'm gonna put this up on the Patreon page, and also might make this one up, put this one up on YouTube. Got my YouTube channel here back on the monitor if you want to like and subscribe. I never thought I'd say that, but hey man, some good guitar content coming up there. So getting on with it, I thought I'd start the whole right hand technique conversation by saying, what is good right hand technique, and even more than that, what is good technique? What do we consider good technique? Is it playing fast? Is it, a lot of people seem to think that, that obviously to be able to play fast, you need good technique, right? But, maybe expressing yourself well on the instrument, certain other techniques, like expressiveness, timbre, all manners of things like bending, not talking about just right hand technique anymore. All this could be considered good technique, right? So I think, after doing a lot of thinking, what I consider good technique is if it allows you to express what you want to express musically on the instrument, that is good technique. So meaning, if to be able to express your musical ideas, you need to be able to bend well, to cover that vocal aspect of the instrument, you need to be able to bend well. That's going to be part of your technique, and that's the whole process. If in order to express your musical ideas, you need to be able to play fast, you're going to need to be able to play fast. That's going to have to work on that side of your technique. If that's not in your thing, maybe your thing is just to get, great sound from the instrument. You're going to have to work towards that, because that in itself is a whole technical work. Getting good sound out of the instrument, it has to do with pick, angle, how you press, how hard you press, how you set your instrument up, how long you hold notes and all that. That's all important, and just to get started on this whole thing, I thought I'd talk a little bit about just the right hand. I have my R-stop here. That's kind of the one that I, when I'm playing lighter gauge strings, other instruments, I tend to rely a little bit more on the left hand. With this instrument, it's really about the right hand. It's having like an acoustic R-stop. I'm gonna take the volume all the way off now, and it just responds very much to your touch. You know what I mean? If you hit it hard, it sounds a certain way. If you hit it, delicately, it sounds in a different way. And even when you turn up the electric side of it, how quiet you pick, how loud you pick. This is really responds to those things. Dynamics, touch, articulation. I feel like this particular kind of instrument, you really kind of have, it rewards good attention to technique on the right hand, and that's kind of why I'm using it to demonstrate a few things about right hand technique. You know what I mean? Where should I begin? There's so many ways to approach this, and everybody seems to do it in a different way. More often than not, I believe I see players, I mean, there's a few different examples. I'm going to start by describing my technique. So regarding the picking hand, this is something I went back and forth with a lot. In the beginning, I had nobody would really tell anything. None of my early teachers would ever tell me anything about the right hand. So just hold the pick and play. You get the pointy end, point of the guitar. I played with all manners of picks, of thicknesses and sizes and materials, until I ended up landing where I'm at right now. Not to say this is where I'm going to stay forever, but I use these. I guess this is the classic. I don't know if this is teardrop shape, but it's the most classic pick shape you can get. These ones are made by Westville Guitars in Japan. This is the 1.5. I like the 1.5 than 1.2. When I'm playing more electric, like some Les Paul or Strats, playing kind of more rock and roll or pop things or funky things, I tend to prefer lighter picks. When I'm playing jazz, I tend to prefer heavier ones. So 1.5 is kind of my choice, with heavy strings especially. You know what I mean? On this guitar, I have 13 gauge strings from Tomastic. They're a little lighter on the bottom and heavy on the top. Just for my setup, just to bring it, even though it's not completely related to my right hand technique. Early on, one of my first teachers that really started talking about right hand technique with me was Lupa Santiago. He's a great guitar player from Brazil who I studied with for a long time. He was the opinion that I should play close fisted, and he himself holds the pick with 3 fingers. He's he's got great right hand technique. Goes to show that there's no pattern. He holds the pick between 3 fingers like that. I know guys like Mike Moreno hold it between 2, like middle and then the thumb. For me, as time went by, I flirted with the 3 finger approach, then ended up settling with the just the pointer and the thumb. But there's one particular thing about my right hand. I feel like most players tend to play with their thumb straight and their pick slightly slanted this way, hitting the string in that manner. It's weird for me. This feels so unnatural, and I'm gonna explain why. What happens with me is that I ended up settling on my thumb. I don't know if this is what's called double jointed, but my thumb bends backwards like that. I don't know if this is gonna look okay on camera. I'm gonna try to bring it a little closer. Hopefully it looks decent. When I'm holding my pick, my thumb is like this. I don't know if this is a lot of bending or not. Maybe everybody can do it. I like this. I tend to play with my pick slanted this way instead of this way. So my pick slant is like that, and it might be even, I don't know, pretty severe. I'm not sure how much I angle it more than people. Definitely not flat. I believe maybe some people do the flat thing with the side of the pick hitting the guitar like that, just that flat side. But I believe because a lot of picks are also have that bevel. I believe most people tend to have a slanted kind of attack. My slant goes that way, so I'm really picking like that across the string. So I'm playing a scale. See what I mean? It just goes. That way, you know what I mean? Instead of this way. I don't know if this is a thing that anybody can just do. It seems to me that that's one of the things that people that I've heard being called Benson picking. Apparently George Benson also does that with his finger and picks in that sort of way. It might look a little funny. I don't know is this a lot? You tell me. But yeah, that sort of slant with the thumb is something that I like to do. I don't think this is not by all means like something that you have to do. If you can, I would experiment with it, just because, it really works for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for you, but something to try. The other thing too is this, I don't love, a lot of people play with their fists closed like this. So the pick holding in your fingers all locked up inside the hand like a fist, right? So you play. Something about this makes me feel, I don't really love having like a closed hand. A lot of people I think you have to float your hand too, like just have it completely above the guitar and just. For me, this feels very lost. It's hard to explain. With the hand floating, I feel like I have precision. So what I tend to do is just have my fingers relaxed. Sometimes I might have I might have a pinky on the pick guard or on the first string if I'm not playing the first string, obviously. And the heel of my hand here, is that the heel? I believe it is. This part here just like touching the bridge slightly. I like to have it like that. It gives me a certain datum point, and I feel like it can be relaxed. You know, if I have my hand closed in a fist, I feel like I'm tightening up, and that's not good for playing fast and loose. So I like to have my fingers relaxed. You know, if you were, think about it this way: if you were walking, you don't walk with your hands like that, and you don't walk with them like this. If your hands are relaxed, they're loose, right? So your fingers are kind of in between, like sort of like maybe a little bit flexed, but not too much. So that's kind of how I like my hand to be. Just, you know, however it's comfortable. Let it just fall and, you know, hone the pick. I like to have my fingers kind of loose, and the pinky here as a little, you know, reference point, so I can play, you know, even. You know what I mean? This way I can play, I feel like I can execute most things. So, you know, the whole low down on right hand posture, I guess. So right hand shape, you know. I'm holding the pick between my pointer and my thumb. I have the thumb bent a little bit backwards like that. Hitting the strings at a slant like this way towards, you know. I like to have my fingers kind of nice and relaxed. Nothing like too closed, nothing too open like that. Just nice. Might have my pinky anchored. That's, you know, that was the term I was trying to remember. Pinky might be anchored on the pick guard or on the first string, depending. You know, might let it loose sometimes too. But yeah, this is kind of where I like to approach it. I find that having the hand anchored on the bridge helps with muting sometimes too. If you want to like do away with extenuous, you know, vibration and noise, you can always mute it with the heel of your right hand. I think that's going to be enough for this video. I'm going to stop around here, cover a little bit of the right hand positioning, you know, how I hold my pick, how I hit the strings. Next time we'll be back, we'll talk a little bit more about some exercises and things you can do to get that right hand working for you. Thank you very much, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to the Patreon. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.